Nestled in the vast Indian Ocean lies the exotic and enchanting island of Madagascar. A true gem of earthly beauty, it offers an air of mystique and has earned the moniker of being the eighth continent. Come, let's venture together and bask in the unparalleled natural wonders that continue to astound and allure visitors to this dreamlike destination. Madagascar, a captivating island country, unfolds like a lush oasis off the southeastern coast of Africa. Millions of years ago, it was part of the ancient supercontinent Gondwana, until tectonic forces sculpted it into the Earth's first island. It's intriguing to learn that human presence here is a relatively recent occurrence, dating back only 2,000 years. The picturesque shores of Madagascar first graced the lens of Portuguese explorer Diego Diaz, who peered through a spyglass in the early 16th century. From that moment on, the island blossomed into a vital trading hub en route to the enigmatic India. After being a French colony since 1896, Madagascar earned the status of an overseas territory in 1946, eventually gaining full independence in 1960. Remarkably vast, Madagascar ranks among the world's largest islands, surpassed only by Greenland, New Guinea, and Borneo. Covering an expansive 227,800 square miles, its northernmost point, Cape Amber, sits 1,025 miles away from the southernmost Sainte Marie. Encompassed by mountains, Madagascar's landscape boasts sprawling mountain ranges, plateaus, and majestic high hills, comprising over half of its terrain. Madagascar's main watershed extends over 497 miles along the eastern coast, with a narrow strip of lowlands separating it from the ocean. The island's highest mountains, Ankaratra and Saratanata, are located in the central and northern regions, reaching heights of 6,500 to 8,200 feet. While there are no active volcanoes on Madagascar, the island is dotted with numerous extinct ones. In the past, it was a hotbed of volcanic activity, and today, earthquakes still frequently occur. Hot springs can be found all over the island, and carbon dioxide gas seeps from the Earth's cracks. The eastern coast is adorned with rivers, which may be small but are swift and powerful, especially after rainfall. There are fewer rivers flowing into the Mozambique Channel, but they are long and robust. Some of these rivers are navigable in their lower reaches, but only small flat-bottomed boats can navigate them. Madagascar's climate is typically humid and warm on the eastern coast, while it becomes milder towards the west due to drier air. The island's size and terrain contribute to different climates, but overall it remains tropical throughout the year, with just 2 seasons, dry and wet. On the eastern coast of Madagascar, the rainy season begins in December and lasts until April, bringing with it scorching heat. By the way, February is the hottest month, with temperatures reaching 93.2 degrees Fahrenheit. From May through November, the island experiences the dry season, which is only called dry because there are days without rainfall. July is considered the coldest month in Madagascar, yet even then, temperatures hover around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. On the western coast of Madagascar, it is usually even hotter, reaching up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. During this time, heavy downpours occur daily from December through April. The dry island season lives up to its name, as there are times when not a drop of rain falls on this thirsty land for months on end. These climate conditions create a thriving vegetation paradise on Madagascar, as the island receives plenty of warmth and moisture. Pineapples, bananas, lemons, oranges, and pistachios bear fruit year-round. Madagascar is truly a botanical wonderland, boasting nearly 15,000 species of plants, including 170 different types of palms, which is 3 times more than the entire mainland of Africa. The entire eastern coast of Madagascar, from the sea to the foothills of the mountains, is covered with lush tropical forests that stretch like a narrow green ribbon. Within these forests, you'll find dense clusters of emerald ferns, numerous complex flowered plants, legumes, and very colorful orchids. They are the true tropical gems of Madagascar. With their golden, yellow, purple, dark blue, red, and white hues, these flowers resemble fiery bursts of color. All this exquisite beauty weaves together into a vibrant natural tapestry, a perfect harmony of nature's artistry. There are an impressive 1,200 species of these stunning flowers found on the island. This incredible diversity is a result of Madagascar's unique geological structure. Moreover, orchids have evolved clever survival strategies, forming symbiotic relationships with other living beings and many different plant species. For a long time, Madagascar was a go-to destination for botanists worldwide, seeking to expand their collections of orchids. However, this international enthusiasm almost threatened the flowers. Thankfully, conservation organizations stepped in and quelled the fervor of enthusiastic collectors, leading to a strict prohibition on orchid collecting in Madagascar and globally since the 1970s. Madagascar's landscape alternates between tall forests and untouched thickets, alongside meadows and marshy areas. Under the dense canopy of trees, a greenish semi-darkness pervades as sunlight struggles to break through. The intertwining branches, tree ferns, and lianas capture the light, creating a magical ambiance. The paths are strewn with half-decayed dead trunks, like something from a water nymph's tale, while the living trees are adorned with epiphytic plants, orchids, and trailing pale moss beards, thriving in the shadowy realms. In the marshy regions, reeds and giant grasses flourish, and delicate lilies bloom like radiant brides with their gracefully spread petals. In the western part of the island, where moisture is scarce, forests become more sparse, primarily stretching along the meandering river valleys. There, a fascinating array of bamboo, baobab trees, tamarind trees, teak, and rose trees can be found. On the eastern coast of the island, graceful coconut palms sway in the breeze, while on the western coast, majestic fan palms take center stage. Within the lush forests, one can encounter the copal trees with its glossy, dense leaves, a valuable source of high-quality lacquer, And wherever you roam, except in the island's highland region, the captivating sight of raffia palms greet your eyes. Their slender yet rugged trunks are topped with a splendid cluster of leaves stretching gracefully up to 19 feet in length. And what is Madagascar without a tale of the ravanala, or traveler's palm? Smooth and towering, it's crowned with leaves whose stems converge towards the trunk, resembling spokes in a giant wheel. The tree earned its name because the tubular stems hold a substantial amount of water, making it a vital resource for weary travelers and thirsty animals alike. However, ravanala trees grow only in marshes and near streams, and are completely absent in the arid regions of the island. In Madagascar, many cultivated plants thrive successfully. Sweet potatoes, pistachios, vanilla, and endless tea plantations spread across the plateaus. Along the coasts, coffee, cotton, sugarcane, rice, and healing ginger flourish. The island is home to numerous other valuable plants as well, including the chocolate tree, tobacco, bananas, Madagascar plum, date palm, beech and lemon trees, indigo, saffron, camphor trees, and figs. Madagascar's unique wildlife can only be compared to Australia's in its distinctiveness, forming a special ecosystem on the island. Some scientists theorize that Madagascar was indeed a remnant of the vast continent of Lemuria, which once existed in the place of the current Indian Ocean. The animals of this continent perished along with it, but some survived on Madagascar. Hence, my friends, Madagascar is more than just the title of an animated movie. It's practically the only place on Earth where several dozen lemur species reside. It's believed these animals arrived on the island on rafts that they constructed themselves. If this assumption is erroneous and Lemuria never existed, but Madagascar simply separated from Africa long before the emergence of the modern African fauna, it explains why, despite its proximity to Africa, Madagascar lacks the usual African wildlife. However, lemurs and insectivores still thrive there, making them the primary representatives of Madagascar's animal kingdom, which is aptly called the Lemur Island. These delightful creatures undeniably evoke warm smiles and admiration. The term lemur originates from the Latin word lemurs, meaning night spirit or ghost. They are named as such presumably due to the dark circles around their large, light-reflecting eyes, and the eerie howls emitted by some species, like the Indri lemurs. According to ancient legend, lemurs were believed to be the restless souls of the deceased, wandering at night and haunting the ancient Romans, who celebrated a festival called Lemuria on May 9th, 11th, and 13th to ward off these malevolent spirits. When the first European explorers landed on Madagascar in the 16th century, they too were astonished by the agile nocturnal creatures inhabiting the tropical forests, with their mesmerizing large eyes that glowed in the darkness. How could they not be reminded of such folklore? Lemurs, unique primates belonging to the suborder of Prosimians, can only be found on the island of Madagascar and partially on the Comoros Islands. The Madagascar lemur is not only a unique animal, but also the island's iconic symbol, much like the kangaroo for Australia. The nature of Madagascar is so extraordinary that it is home to several dozen lemur species, making them living island attractions. Moreover, lemurs are trusting, incredibly friendly towards humans, and exceptionally peaceful creatures. Lemurs are mammals and belong to the primate order, suborder of wet-nosed monkeys, and infraorder of lemurs or lemur-like primates. Their closest relatives are monkeys, although lemurs have numerous distinguishing characteristics. As for the lemurs themselves, the entire family is divided into 5 subfamilies, comprising an impressive 101 species. The size of these animals varies depending on their species. For example, the smallest mouse lemur is so tiny it can easily fit on a human palm. It measures only 7 to 9 inches in length, including its tail, and weighs a mere 0.8 to 1.5 ounces. On the other hand, the largest lemur, the short-tailed indri, measures 19 to 27 inches in length, with an average weight of 13 to 17 pounds for individuals of this species. Zoologists convincingly argue that in the past, both on the island of Madagascar and throughout the African continent, there were truly large lemurs weighing up to 440 pounds, significantly surpassing today's gorillas in size. Unfortunately, these giant lemurs have long been extinct. Lemurs have elongated and rather robust bodies, with round and slightly flattened heads. Their faces somewhat resemble those of foxes, elongated, pointed, and somewhat cunning. They sport whiskers around their mouths, not only adding to their appearance, but also serving the function of tough perception. Their eyes are unusually large, yellow or orange in color. In nature, there exists a species of blue-eyed lemurs, the black lemur, or Sclatter's lemur. The big eyes of the indri lemurs resemble saucers, seemingly expressing constant amazement or even great fright. These wide pupils are surrounded by a special vascular layer called the tapetum, enabling lemurs to have excellent night vision, a built-in biological night vision device. The lemur's teeth have a remarkable design. The upper incisors are widely spaced, while the lower ones are closely positioned along the canines, tilting forward to create a unique tooth comb. On each of their 4 limbs, lemurs boast 5 fingers, with the thumb distinctly opposed to the others. Their limb structure closely resembles that of monkeys, and even bears some resemblance to our own hands. Their fingers sport nails, with particularly elongated ones on the index finger, serving lemurs well for grooming and insect searching in their fur. Speaking of fur, it's dense and comes in a mesmerizing array of colors, ranging from gray-brown to black and white, with some flaunting reddish or brownish hues. The cat lemur, in particular, showcases a captivating fur pattern, while its long and flexible tail adds allure with black and white stripes. Now, let's talk about the lemur's tail, a true masterpiece. It's long, fluffy, and acts almost like a 5th limb. Stretching equal to, or sometimes even surpassing the length of their body, this luxurious tail not only serves for aesthetics, but also plays a crucial role in communication. Like agile acrobats, lemurs skillfully employ their tails to maintain perfect balance during their leaps. though the short-tailed Indri lemur unfortunately can't boast a lengthy tail. It possesses the shortest among its lemur relatives, measuring just 1 to 2 inches. In their natural habitat, lemurs' lifespans will vary depending on the species, typically ranging from 20 to 35 years. Once inhabiting Africa and its neighboring islands, these fascinating creatures now primarily call Madagascar their home. Despite some lemurs being exported from the island, many can be found in zoos worldwide, where they adapt well and even thrive, successfully reproducing in captivity. The fascinating lifestyle of lemurs revolves around their treetop habitat, where they excel in climbing and gracefully leaping from branch to branch with their long tails acting as perfect balance assistants. However, some lemur species also venture to the ground from time to time. In their humble abodes, lemurs can be found lounging or resting under the warm embrace of the tropical sun. It's where they construct their cozy nests, relax, catch some shut-eye, and raise their adorable offspring. When the occasion calls for it, lemurs showcase their acrobatic prowess, executing jaw-dropping leaps that can span an astonishing 10 meters. These social creatures have an unmistakable sense of territory, living together in family groups of 3 to 30 members. Within these groups, a well-defined hierarchy is established, and what's intriguing is that the lemurs live under a strict matriarchal rule. The position of leader is held by the strongest female, who enjoys the privilege of selecting her mating partners during the breeding season and is given priority in food selection. The balance between males and females is roughly equal, but if the female sticks around in the group for too long, some adventurous males may try their luck with younger females. Nonetheless, if their search is unsuccessful, they continue their solitary pursuits. Each lemur clan claims a specific territory ranging from 15 to 197 acres, and they mark their island kingdom with special secretions and urine, leaving no doubt for intruders to back off. In the realm of communication, lemurs are quite expressive. They engage in vocal exchanges with grunts and purrs, but when danger lurks, their eerie and piercing cries serve as a warning to others. Yet what's truly captivating is the use of their long tails as a tool of assertion. Males engage in stink fights to assert dominance, smearing their tails with pungent secretion from glands under their arms and playfully poking each other. The strength of the odor becomes a status symbol, determining the alpha lemur. The individual who can't endure the smell or the tension is quick to acknowledge defeat and retreat from the contest. Some lemur species, like the dwarf lemur, enter a state called winter hibernation during the dry seasons. They sit in a motionless stupor on the branches, not eating anything at all, while their bodies use the previously stored fat as energy. The vast majority of lemurs are crepuscular animals, meaning they lazily rest in their cozy nests during the day and come out in the evening to search for food. They sleep right on the tree branches, gripping them tightly with their paws. So, what do lemurs eat? Like monkeys, they are omnivores, but they lean more towards being vegetarians than predators. Their diet primarily consists of tree leaves, ripe fruits, lemurs especially love figs and bananas, plant shoots, seeds, and tree bark. However, at times lemurs may hunt small prey like praying mantises, nocturnal butterflies, crickets, and spiders with roaches. Some lemurs don't mind going after tree frogs or enjoying small birds by climbing into their nests and savoring the eggs. Certain lemur species eat dirt as a natural remedy for toxic substances found in the leaves of certain trees. When very hungry, lemurs may consume rotten wood out of desperation. Interestingly, lemurs eat in a manner similar to monkeys and humans. They first use their paws to handle the food before placing it in their mouths. The courtship rituals of lemurs aren't particularly sophisticated. They usually scream wildly. The vocalizations of the Indri lemurs in particular can be quite alarming. It creates the impression of a weary child abandoned in the depths of the tropical forest. These frenzied songs of the lemurs, in which they declare their territorial rights, can be heard from as far away as 1.2 miles. Holding their concerts in the eerie silence of the tropical wilderness, lemurs can truly unsettle the unprepared human, and frankly, it's not a pleasant experience. When a male responds to the call of a dominant female, a strong monogamous pair is formed, and from there, it's all about eternal love. Only in the event of one partner's death can the male or female seek a new mate. However, such fidelity is observed mainly among the Indri lemurs, while other species don't exhibit this level of commitment and lead a polygamous lifestyle. The duration of pregnancy in lemurs varies depending on the species, typically ranging from 2 to 5 months. Lemur infants are born helpless and blind, but by the second day of life, their sight develops. Just after birth, these incredibly cute newborn lemurs adorably cling to their mother's abdomen, gripping her fur with their tiny paws. Some lemurs carry their offspring in their mouths, while the babies of dwarf lemurs, for example, spend their first 2 to 3 weeks in cozy nests or tree hollows. However, the offspring of cat lemurs and common lemurs hitch a ride on their mother's back and enjoy a piggyback ride until they grow up. During the first few months of life, the tiny lemurs are under constant care from their mother, and in the case of monogamous Indri lemurs, the father takes on a significant caregiving role as well. Nursing with maternal milk lasts for 4 to 5 months. After this period, lemurs grow quickly and soon become independent from parental care. Despite their agility and nimbleness, lemurs often become prey for predatory birds. The biggest threats to them are the Madagascar long-eared owl, the hawk owl, and other hawks. They also face attacks from snakes, especially the Madagascar tree boa, as well as some predatory mammals like the narrow-striped mongoose, mongooses, and even domestic dogs belonging to local residents. However, the most significant harm to lemurs comes from human activities. This is why lemurs in Madagascar have strict protective measures in place, as many of their species are on the brink of extinction. the intensive deforestation of the tropical forests, which are their traditional habitats, has been particularly devastating for lemurs. Many lemur species in the wild are under the threat of extinction due to poaching and illegal trading. To preserve lemurs as a species in Madagascar, a reserve has been established where visitors can easily buy bananas and figs, the lemurs' favorite treats. If you happen to visit their territory, be prepared for lemurs to be everywhere. They will boldly jump on your shoulders, rummage through your bags and backpacks, and shamelessly ask for food. We advise you not to be stingy and have a good supply of bananas on hand. The lemurs will eat everything and then beg for more. The Malagasy people of Madagascar have long cultivated the belief that lemurs are the souls of their deceased ancestors. As a result, in some settlements, there is a tradition of offering them fruit treats. However, this peculiar Malagasy superstition seems to do more harm than good to the lemurs. It is believed that a dried lemur's pointing finger can restore lost virility to men. Consequently, elderly Malagasy people often hunt lemurs hoping to feel young again. As for the ai lemur, the local residents have a special fear of it. According to the islanders, anyone who kills an ai lemur will die within a year. Scientists still don't know the actual name of the ai lemur because they never utter its name out loud. The insular nature of Madagascar's fauna results in the complete absence of hoofed animals and large predatory mammals. The reptile fauna of Madagascar is not particularly rich either. There are no venomous snakes or large lizards on the island. However, there is a significant number of pythons, chameleons, and turtles. Of exceptional interest on the island are the Madagascar tree pythons. They are the only representatives of the python family on the island. The overall length of the Madagascar python ranges from 5 to 8 feet, with females typically being larger than males. Their primary colors are usually greenish or brownish with shades of red or yellow. On their back, they sport a distinctive pattern of dark, diamond-shaped spots, often highlighted with a lighter border. In most populations, the python's color changes from bright red in young individuals to darker hues in adults. The Madagascar tree python thrives in both dry and humid forests, and it can also be found in the savanna landscapes of the island. While young pythons exclusively lead a tree-dwelling lifestyle, adults mainly remain on the ground, although they also climb up trees during the day to bask in the sun and rest. Hence, the name tree python is not entirely accurate, as they don't climb trees as frequently as other tree-dwelling python species. These pythons are primarily nocturnal, leading a nighttime lifestyle. In the wild, they feed on bats and birds, but they do relatively infrequently due to their slow metabolism. Madagascar pythons eat once a month and don't require large quantities of food. Males typically start feeding from April to October, after which they may completely abstain from food, especially if an alluring female is nearby. Madagascar tree pythons are viviparous, meaning the females give birth to live young. Each female can give birth up to 12 babies, with each one measuring around 15 inches. Interestingly, the color of pregnant females becomes twice as dark. In nature, they say, there are no coincidences. Everything is meticulously planned. This change in color is necessary for the cold-blooded mother to retain more warmth in her body, which is crucial for the development of the embryos. After giving birth, the female sheds their skin, and their color returns to its original state. Newborn pythons have a light red coloration, which acts as a warning sign to deter potential predators, urging them to stay away. Madagascar pythons have a reputation as aggressive predators, and they are incredibly strong, using a deadly grip to subdue their prey, only relaxing their muscular body when they are confident in their dominance. Unfortunately, the population of Madagascar tree pythons has decreased about 20% over the last 10 years, putting them at risk of extinction. International trade of these snakes is prohibited by the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Among the large snakes in Madagascar, there are numerous small ones, and none of them are venomous. However, they can cause quite a bit of trouble for the local residents. These snakes can squeeze into the tiniest cracks of buildings, get into dishes, and even climb into beds, leaving the homeowners with no choice but to sweep them away with a broom and calm down the frightened children. The Madagascar Plowshare tortoise is a unique terrestrial reptile found among other reptiles on the island of Madagascar, known locally as an anganaka. It has a highly elevated shell with a noticeably projecting front plastron, which helps it move effortlessly through dense vegetation. Another distinctive feature is the presence of a peculiar beak or keel that grows from the throat scutes on the plastron of adult males. This characteristic formation plays a significant role in the species' reproductive process. The overall length of the Plowshare tortoise reaches 19 inches. They weigh between 22 and 40 pounds. There is sexual dimorphism observed among these tortoises, with males being significantly larger and heavier than females. The carapace of both males and females is soft brown, with a distinct pale yellow star-like pattern. The Plowshare tortoise thrives in dry, deciduous forests, sparse shrublands, and open, sunny forest clearings. It does not dig burrows in the soil, but seeks cozy shelter among thick vegetation. Its diet consists of fresh leaves and assorted vegetation. Breeding season for the tortoises lasts from October to February, with its peak in November and December. Mating begins with fights between males, where the characteristic throat scoot extensions come into play. Brave males engage in combat, attempting to flip their opponents with their beaks on the plastron. The victorious male then hurriedly approaches the female, while the loser goes off in search of better prospects elsewhere. Females lay white spherical eggs in a small depression and tightly cover them with decaying leaves. The incubation period lasts from 168 to 296 days. The hatchlings are incredibly vulnerable, and once they emerge from the nest, become easy prey for predators. Only about a third of the hatchlings from a single clutch manage to survive in the harsh wilderness. In Madagascar, the Plowshare tortoise is protected by law, and its export is strictly regulated. Locals consider it sacred and keep it in poultry coops as a talisman against poultry diseases. The panther chameleon is another of the most interesting reptiles inhabiting Madagascar. It is worth mentioning that half of all chameleons on the planet are found on this island. The panther chameleon was first described by the French naturalist Georges Cuvier in 1829. The name of the chameleon genus, Furcifer, comes from the Latin furci, meaning forked, which accurately characterizes the shape of the chameleon's limbs. The adjective pardalis refers to the reptile's coloration and translates to leopard or spotted. The panther chameleon is a relatively large reptile with a body length of about 18 inches, including its tail. The well-known ability of chameleons to change the color of their skin allows them to be living rainbows. How do chameleons skillfully change colors? The secret lies in special cells called chromatophores, located in the outer layer of the chameleon's skin. These cells contain pigments that effectively camouflage the reptile and its surroundings. The upper layer of the chromatophore holds red or yellow pigment, while the lower layer holds blue or white pigment. By expanding and contracting, the pigments mix within the cells much like an artist's palette, creating a stunning effect. Typically, male panther chameleons are brighter than females. Many of them have unique ornaments on their heads and snouts, such as nasal appendages or small horn-like crests. Furthermore, chameleons, including the panther chameleon, possess unique eyes that can rotate independently of each other by 360 degrees. This enables them to see in two directions simultaneously, and their visual acuity is astounding. Chameleons can spot tiny insects from a distance of 33 feet. Additionally, the panther chameleon has excellent ultraviolet light perception. However, their hearing is poor. Like snakes, they lack external or middle ears. But this does not mean the chameleons are deaf. They have a well-developed ability to detect sound frequencies of 200 to 600 hertz. The limbs of panther chameleons are adapted for movement on rough surfaces, making tree bark as familiar to them as city sidewalks are to us. The toes in their feet are grouped into 2 or 3, equipped with sharp claws and function like tongs. A distinctive feature of chameleons is their long tongue, which is twice the size of their body. The tongue shoots out with incredible speed and is not only composed of strong muscles and elastic tendons, but also has a pump-like muscle group at its flexible tip, covered in thick mucus. In just 0.05 of a second, the prey is in the chameleon's mouth, or rather, in the chameleon's tongue. After firmly catching the prey, the panther chameleon quickly retracts its tongue, closes its powerful jaws, and swallows the catch. Panther chameleons are diurnal creatures. They hide among low bushes and trees, bask in the sunlight on hills, and like most chameleons, they are territorial animals living alone within a specific area, except during the mating season. While encountering rival males, they do not conceal their aggression, instantly changing their coloration and puffing up their bodies to intimidate the competitor. Such confrontations usually end with a visually dominant display of the stronger male, while the weaker one retreats, reverting to its unimpressive gray or black coloration. The female lays anywhere from 10 to 40 eggs. the number depending on the availability of sufficient food. It should be noted that females do not live long, typically only 2 to 3 years after laying eggs. After giving new life, the organism completes its reproductive cycle, possibly influenced by biological stress. The amphibian fauna in Madagascar is somewhat limited. Among the typical representatives for the island are several species of frogs, one of which is the tomato frog, or Madagascar tomato frog. You can find it in forests, parks, shrubs, thickets, on the edges of swamps, ponds, lakes, and canals. The body length of the tomato frog is 2 to 4 inches, weighing between 1 and 7 ounces. The female is almost twice as large as the male. Gender differences are also evident in their coloration. The male's color ranges from yellow-brown to orange, while females are typically bright red. Its coloration indeed resembles a ripe tomato. The frog's skin is smooth without protrusions, except for 2 skin folds along each side with a dark stripe running along each. The tomato frog has few enemies because it secretes a toxic adhesive substance that effectively protects it from snakes, cats, and dogs. On the leaves of trees and shrubs on the island, you can notice another representative of amphibians, the Madagascar mantella frog. It belongs to the class of amphibians and the subfamily of Madagascar frogs. The overall length of the representatives of this genus ranges from 0.5 to 13 inches, weighing up to 1 ounce. This is why the frogs can safely and easily settle on tree leaves, which serve as both a hunting ground and a resting place. The females are slightly larger and wider in the body than the males. Perhaps the name mantella for these frogs is justified. The males have a horseshoe-shaped spot on the front part of their body. The frog's skin contains openings for toxic secretion, but they don't possess actual venom. They only mimic the resemblance to their venomous relatives. Nevertheless, their sticky skin contains toxic compounds. The Madagascar mantella frog lacks webbed feet on its fingers. Its coloration is very bright and quite diverse, ranging from orange to salad green. Interestingly, the male Madagascar mantella frog loves to sing songs. Their solo differs from the croaking of other frogs and resembles the chirping of a cricket. The male self-indulgently sings all day, continuously producing the same melody of 6 clicks, each lasting about 11 milliseconds. The mantella frogs are quite energetic since they dedicate a large part of their day to searching for food. When they satisfy their hunger, they love to rest and bask in the sun. Among the butterflies, which are generally similar to African ones, there are many gorgeously colored species in Madagascar, including the Madagascar urania. This butterfly impresses with its brightness, exquisite coloring, and the intricate patterns on its wings. Interestingly, the caterpillars of the Madagascar urania feed on only 4 types of plants. All of them belong to the milkweed family. The caterpillars are highly voracious, quickly consuming leaves and leaving behind only the sturdy stem. Since milkweeds do not grow all over Madagascar, the caterpillars are found in isolated regions of the island. The caterpillars of the Urania butterfly create their cocoons using silk threads, spending about 10 hours on this technological process. Subsequently, for almost 30 hours, the caterpillar undergoes metamorphosis. The actual transformation takes no more than 10 minutes, but the formed butterfly emerges from the cocoon only after 21 days. Unlike the caterpillar, the Madagascar Urania butterfly is not as eager to eat. It feeds on the nectar of tea plants, eucalyptus, and mango. Friends, if you didn't know who in nature produces a material stronger than steel, know this. It's the Madagascar spider. Its web is perhaps one of the most complex biological substances in the world. The spider weaves a network that reaches a diameter of 3 meters, and its threads are 10 times stronger than Kevlar, which is used to reinforce car tires and manufacture bulletproof vests. The weight of the silk is truly impressive. If you were to wrap the entire planet with it, the weight of such a web would be just half a kilogram. Moreover, the spider possesses the rare ability to shoot its web up to 82 feet away. That's why the Madagascar spider scatters its webs over rivers and even lakes from one bank to another. It's hard to believe, but in all the homes of local residents in Madagascar, you can see spider webs, and no one cleans them. Local traditions strictly forbid doing so. These traditions have their benefits because the spiders that weave them are essentially harmless to humans. Furthermore, their webs catch numerous harmful insects, such as biting and annoying pests. Well, our video journey to Madagascar is coming to an end. We strongly advise you to visit in person. It's a unique opportunity that may come once in a lifetime. Right here in Madagascar, you can find inner harmony through rare communion with nature, hidden within the Lost Island jungles. The exotic national treasures will enchant and amaze you, just like the distinctive culture of the local population. It's worth setting aside doubts and daily worries to embark on an unforgettable journey to this paradise island, beautifully nestled in the Indian Ocean.